Arsenal v Wolves, January 1978. This match is infamous because of an invasion by an unlikely source. We let Tony and Bill and Paul tell their stories. Arsenal fan Tony told us it was January 1978 and we played Wolves in a cup match. 4th round, I think. Anyway, we had a bit of a tough time at Molineux earlier in the season when one of our firms was attacked in their notorious subways, and after the match there was a lot of trouble with our police escort being attacked. But we knew Wolves didn't travel well. Indeed, we had played them at home only a few weeks earlier, and only a handful turned up, maybe 300 in total. The Clock End boys had sorted them out that day, so they all disappeared. Imagine how surprised we were when about 4,000 wolves turned up in the Clock End. So many, in fact, that our Clock End boys couldn't get near them. Second surprise of the day was when about 500 Cheslea Headhunters turned up after their match had been postponed. They headed towards the Wolves fans, but couldn't get close enough because they were in the wrong section. I'm not sure whether they came in to get Wolves or our boys, probably either. Anyway, we won the match 2-1 and one of their players got sent off near the end. We streamed out of the North Bank and went round to the Clockaway end. We had a massive firm waiting outside the gates calling Wolves on, but they wouldn't come out to us. Some of their firm were trying to get the Wolves boys to come out from safety and have a go, but they weren't having none of it. They completely bottled it. Then we tried to get at the Cheslea by walking round to the other entrance, but they had disappeared. I never did find out where they went. Funny old match, very disappointed with Wolves for sure, considering how many of them there was. Wolves fan Bill tells his story. At home, Wolves were pretty decent, especially until the dreaded fence went up in Feb 1978. If you came into the South Bank between 76 to Feb 78, you were more than likely attacked by us. Leeds were surrounded and dispatched Boxing Day 1977. Coventry suffered the same fate. Cardiff April 77th were surrounded, and even West Ham had a tough old time in Oct 77, so basically we would have a go at anyone at home. Away, however, was a different ball game. The match before this one, 4,000 of us had gone to Exeter for a third-round tie and demolished the place. Trouble all day and referee stopping the match after multiple pitch invasions. The same 4,000 went to Highbury for the 4th-round match, but really disappointed me. After the match, me and some of the other George Hotel boys tried to get the fans out of the stand to attack the Arsenal firm that had come round to have it off with us. Arsenal were just standing there goading us and we just watched. Not one Wolves had a go. It was the beginning of the end for me. It's easy taking over little old Exeter, but a whole different ball game taking on a top firm like Arsenal's, ain't it? The match itself was a disaster, and to top it off, Chelsea turned up unexpected in the Clock End. We thought they had come for us, but they didn't attack anyone, just wandered about the Clock End, maybe looking for Arsenal who were there. Anyway, Arsenal moved on and we sheepishly went about our way. Really was a bad case of cowardice. Still happy days, but not this day. And finally, Chelsea fan Paul told us, our match against Burnley had been called off, so about 600 of us decided to go to Arsenal instead. We caught the tube, but on arriving at Highbury, the police were already on our tail, pestering us along the route to the ground. They stopped about half of us getting into the ground and made them catch a train back to Chelsea. The other half that got in made their way into the Clock End. Wolves were already surrounded by Arsenal's Herd firm, but when the Herd saw us, they backed off and a sort of no man's land appeared. You can see it in the YouTube video when Arsenal score their first goal. When we saw how many Wolves there were, we decided not to attack them, as we only had 300 and they had about 4,000. We were going after Wolves as we had recently taken their home end, the North Bank, but they were saying that their home end was the South Bank, so we wanted to show them that it doesn't matter, you bottled it that day. After the match, we didn't bother to go after anyone as our main firm had been turned away, so we walked back to the tube station. No one bothered us. Don't know what happened to Arsenal's lot, although I did hear they attacked Wolves outside the clock end. We thank Tony, Bill and Paul for their recollections. It's clear Arsenal did indeed invite Wolves out for a fight and that Wolves refused. Arsenal were a pretty underestimated firm in those days, so maybe a wise move by the Wolves boys. Thanks for watching and please subscribe and hit the bell. It really helps our channel grow.